Welcome to the Draft Professor channel, home of Epic Mock 26, April 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Well, welcome to the Draft Professor, everybody, and happy Sunday. We are here with Brian and Anthony. Guys, it has been I think we've been podcasting together at this point for like 15 to 18 months. And we're closing down here in our second draft, and we're going to be doing round 4 of a marathon mock here in a few minutes. But before we dive into the mock draft, Anthony, you looking more for the 2026 draft, or are you so deep into 2027 that that's top of mind?
At this point, I still need to be invested in 26 because I need to make sure the Jets don't mess it up. But no, I'm firmly locking in on 2027 players, and I do have I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but I have more optimism for the class that we're gonna have next year than this one overall. But the 2026 draft still matters. So we're gonna keep talking about it.
Cool. And Brian, how are things in Packers draft land?
It's that time of year where you get the what do you call it? The people, their articles and their podcasts talking about guys the Packers are going to take that are not on their, obviously not on their board type of stuff. Like, it gets a little annoying. I just kind of ignore it, but it gets a little annoying.
Okay. Well, we are doing what's known as a marathon mock. So what was that? Well, yesterday morning, the Draft Professor podcast with Drew Collins, Tyler Hill, and Ben did round 1. Then Jack Brentnall this morning finished round 1, got most of round 2 done. Then Marcus finished round 2 and got round 3 done. And now Brian and Anthony are coming into a mock draft relatively blind. They know what some of the picks were because they saw them come through Twitter. But Brian, Anthony, and I are going to be doing round 4. And if we can get into round 5, great. And then wherever we finish, Chris Connor is going to complete the 7-round mock on his Last Call podcast, either sometime tonight or tomorrow, probably. So with that being said, we are at the top of round 4, and the Tennessee Titans are on the clock. This is Tennessee's 4th pick. They've selected Ruben Bain. They selected a wide receiver in round 2, and then they turned around and selected, they got Ted Hurst and Chris Bell. So the Titans have gone edge, wide receiver, and they're on the clock in round 4. I think they need corner, and they might be able to use some interior offensive line help, and maybe a running back. But Anthony, the available players are over here to the right, and the order of these players is from a mock draft that Jolene did a week ago. Thoughts on what you might think Tennessee would want to look at here?
Yeah, I agree with you. Corner was the first thing that popped into my head. I definitely think they're going to be looking for tackle depth. That I know that the Titans faithful aren't too thrilled with J.C. Latham right now. So that could be an option too. But I feel like corner is where I would be looking for Robert Saleh's defense in particular. I guess there's no way to rank by position. What other corners would we be looking at besides Sicario Davis? Yeah, you're way better. I don't know how you people do like the spreadsheets. I can't. I'm like so inept.
You people.
So
I watch people use spreadsheets and I just feel like the biggest idiot on the planet that I just can't. I don't know how all the codes and all that stuff works, but Anyway,
I'm going to be designing the Draft Professor simulator to be able to hand mocks off like this so that there's actually software that'll do it. But right now, I wanted to do it with a spreadsheet before I programmed the website to do it. So, Tacario Davis, Devin Moore, Will Lee, to me, feel like corners that may go on day 2. Brian, who is your highest graded corner that's available here?
That's left. Yeah. Probably Will Lee. But I'm a weirdo,
you-
and also I have Thad Dixon pretty close to him.
And then you were
Yeah,
really
probably-
high on somebody that's not listed here, the corner from NC State, right?
Devin Marshall.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't think
Is he-
Marshall's been picked, but he's still available.
I would probably have him above Will Lee. To be honest, I know people think I'm weird, but
No, and you're not the only one that's that high on Marshall. I found one other.
I think I've been the first. I was talking about Marshall like in the
A
summer
while
or
ago.
something like that. And people
Oh,
were like,
yes,
"Who's
you
that?"
were.
I remember.
Oh, yes, you were. Yes, you were.
I
Anthony,
like-
how about you? Who's your best graded corner here?
Of these, Devin Moore is my highest. That's contingent on medicals checking out for him. But I think just from a talent perspective, it would be Devin Moore. And for what it's worth, I feel like early day 3 is where I would take Devin Marshall from NC State. So like I wouldn't hate him being the pick here. But I would if I'm making the pick, I would take Devin Moore from Florida. Because
Cool.
I think he's a great day 3 value. But if we want to go Devin Marshall, I'm not against that.
So, Brian, you want to tell everybody why you were so high on Devin Marshall from NC State?
Honestly, it's kind of funny. Like just I think it was today, I saw Doug Farrar. He put out a tweet about him, and he's pretty much on par. He's just like he's a guy who doesn't really, how do I put it? He's not super flashy, but he's just like Doug didn't say this. It kind of made me think he's kind of, in a way, he's kind of a guy that's kind of boring to watch in a way, because he just goes out there and he just does his job. Like he covers his man, he'll bat passes away with his hands and pass lanes and stuff like that. But like he's just a good cover guy. Like he's not like flashy, like I said. Decent athlete, good athlete, not elite, but he's physical, he's strong. It's just I didn't understand how nobody's talking about him. And just even off his 2024 film, he was pretty good. And then he played even better this year. I think he upped his ball production this year too, which was kind of a slight question I had about him last year with the ball production. So and he could probably even play some slot too. So I think he's versatile too. So I think it's just a guy you could take in day 2 and throw him in there. He'll start for you for 8 to 10 years and just be a good starter.
Okay. Raiders are on the clock at pick 102. The Raiders are having what I would call a really good draft. So they got Mendoza in round 1, turned around at round 2 and got Chris Johnson. Then Anthony, they took Bryce Lance at the top of round 3.
Oh, great! A+. I mean,
Yep.
Well, at least he didn't go to the Patriots.
That's honestly that's my fear these days. Is I feel like Bryce Lance is going to wind up in the AFC East, and I'm going to be upset that he's actually going to be good. Because I think Buffalo or New England are prime landing spots. But
I would
either way.
agree.
Or even Miami, really.
Yeah. Well, and God knows the Jets don't have any corners that can really do anything. All right, wait, sorry. So it was Mendoza, Lance, and Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. God, I mean,
Is there a lineman? Like, I think Tiernan is still here.
Yeah, offensive line or
Or a defensive
line.
tackle.
Defensive tackle is what I was gonna suggest.
What defensive tackles do you like round 3 or early day 3?
If I don't know if he went or not. If Ray if like Daryl Jackson Jr. Would be a name
He
I'd
went
throw
top
out.
50.
Okay, well that's okay.
That's a choice.
That's a choice.
Jack absolutely loves Daryl Jackson Jr.
I okay. I don't love him top 50.
Newt loves Gerald Jackson Jr. too.
I mean, he just I don't know. He feels like just one tech sort of big body. He's got long arms, but like for a guy who's you I don't know. I want to see more from pass rusher perspective at this point in his career, but
So
whatever.
some defensive tackles that are available would include Zane Durant, DeMonte Capehart, Dante Corleone, Tim Keenan, Tyler Onyedim, Caleb Proctor, Xavier Harris, Landon Robinson. And we could keep going down that list. Like some people do like Nick Barrett this high from South Carolina as well. Rayshon Benny is
Yeah.
also available.
I would vote. Well, so I feel like the Raiders kind of need a more run defense, kind of bigger body in the middle. So I would maybe vote in that perspective. I would maybe vote Corleone here. I think the best player is Rayshon Benny. If Brian has an opinion, either way.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. Like, but I still have questions about Corleone with his injury and his weight and that stuff.
Yeah.
And although Benny, yeah, and although Benny
still
his
ask
weight
those
seems to
questions in
fluctuate every
round
time they
4,
take-
Brian. Like, are you going to ask
Yeah,
those
'cause
questions
it's
in round? Okay.
Yeah, and plus the blood. I mean, even though he's cleared of it, the blood clots he had last year or whatever is still something that you want to check out. And like I was about to say, the funny thing with Benny is like every time they weigh him in, whether it was the summer or the Pro or the Senior Bowl or whatever, every time he bounces between like 296 and 300 for some weird reason. But even though he's not like humongous, he's a really good run defender for his size, at least. And I think he's a guy who could play some nose tackle. I wouldn't have him there every down or anything like that, but he could play there, maybe 10 snaps a game in those tackles, 15 snaps a game.
It sounds like both of you guys like Rayshon Benny.
Yeah. But I mean, I could see what Anthony's saying with Corleone if the Raiders are going to, I'm not sure what defense offhand they're running, if they're going to be running, if they're going to be running like a more 3-4, like Corleone or Barnett might make more sense, or Barrett might make more sense, just because they're kind of more true nose tackles that can play nose tackle every down.
So the Raiders also need offensive line, and Jalen Farmer is here. Are either of you day 2 on Farmer?
I'm not day 2, but I don't hate taking him here. Like he's like a 5th round guy for me. But if he went here, like, sure.
Do you have other round 3, day 3 offensive linemen we should check, Anthony?
Yeah, well, I mean, Inez Cooper is my guy, and I would be shocked if somebody else took him top 100.
He is still available.
Yeah, so I mean, I love him, but I think I'm higher on him than most people. I'm just looking now. I mean, there's Billy Schrouth at Notre Dame. There's I assume Jennings Dunker is gone. He's a day 3 player for me, but I know I'm
Dunker went at the end of round 3, so not that far off.
That's about where he should go. That's good job. But,
Dunker went, was it to Jacksonville? Yeah, he went to Jacksonville at pick 81.
Yeah, okay. I don't hate that. I'm sure Keelan Rutledge is gone.
Correct.
So yeah, if it's offensive line, I would vote Inez Cooper, but again, I'm higher on him. So if we want to do a more logical thing and pick a Farmer or a Schrouth, we could do that too. But honestly, I'd probably still vote Rayshon Benny.
Okay, let's go Benny. Like if it's a guy that you both like, we should be doing this. We should be making a good mock draft, but also talking about guys that both of you like. So, okay, so Rayshon Benny. Brian, you want to talk about what you like about Rayshon Benny a little bit?
Well, yeah, kind of similar to what I said just earlier. Like, he's like 6'3", like I said, he bounces between like 296, 300 for some weird reason. Every time it's like either 296 or he's like 300 or something like that for some weird reason. But yeah, he's, despite him being, like I said, being in that weight range, he's a really good run defender. He gets sets a really good base. You know, he gets really good leverage. You know, so, and he's mobile. He can move. He's not like Tim Keenan where he's not going to go anywhere. He's just going to plug his spot and that's it. So he can get down the line and make plays on the line. In the past, he's flashed some pass rush potential and upside and stuff like that. When he was a backup this year, it kind of seemed to kind of disappear. I'm not sure if it was. I have to go back and compare the film. I'm not sure if it was because they're playing him differently this year or it just he didn't materialize with him or not. But I mean, even still, there's still that upside potential for him to have some pass rush upside to develop it if he gets a good D-line coach and stuff like that. He's a versatile guy. You can play him at 1 tech. You can play him at 4 tech. 3I. You can move up and down the line.
Okay, so Anthony, this pick is all you for the New York Jets. So the Jets earlier in this draft.
What have you done to this team?
Reese and Lemon were round 1. So it's Reese, Lemon, Hood, Wheatley. Jack Brentnall is really high on Wheatley. So that was safety 3 off the board at pick 52.
Not bad.
I'm not mad at that. I feel like, Wheatley's not my safety 3, but I actually think he's kind of underrated in this safety group. So I don't hate him being the pick at or where did he pick? Was it 44? Was it?
It was 52. The Packers traded up to 44.
Oh, okay.
Because the last of Jack's corners was available. So the Packers traded up to get Julian Neal. So you're actually going to be you will actually have another 4th round pick here. That's the Packers spot. So we're hooking you up here.
Hell yeah, I'm into that. All right.
I'm so mad at Jack now.
Yeah, I feel like Jack kind of screwed over Brian, but I mean, I
know, right?
But all right, so they've attacked defense, which I think they should do. So that's good. So this could be honestly, this could really be any position, and you could justify it. I do. Oh man, there's a part of me that kind of wants to see what the quarterback board looks like right now. I have no idea who you.
So the quarterbacks, there was a run on quarterbacks at the end of round 3. So
that's fun.
Simpson went round 1, Mendoza went round 1. And then Aller and Peyton were off the board at the end of round 3.
Wow.
All right. All right. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess you could maybe convince me to do Carson Beck, but I don't know if I want to make that the first Jets pick of this exercise that I'm doing. All right. I kind of feel like they need a tight end too that's more reliable than Jeremy Ruckert. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of good tight end options on day 3. So, I mean, again, I don't know who you've taken already, but there's going to be one that I'm going to want probably. Just
Raritan, Jolly, Roush.
Yeah, Roush. No, okay, we don't need to talk about it anymore.
We're not talking about anything else.
Man, that's easy. That's easy for me.
Yep. So there were, I think, 3 tight ends that went in the first 3 rounds. It was Sadiq, Claire,
Trigg,
and Stowers went
Stowers.
to the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Okay, so Arizona's on the clock at pick 104. Arizona has taken Maui Noah and Ty Simpson.
Solid.
Mm-hmm.
So they still need some defensive line help. Is there a defensive lineman such as Joshua Josephs or Nadeem Tucker or LT Overton that you may like for the Cardinals?
What the edge rushers are there? Because those three I'm not very high on.
So give me some other day 3 edges that you would consider.
Shoot, because I'm not sure. Unless Arizona likes their edge rushers small, I guess Joseph would be okay. But I'm not really high on him because
they're a 4-man front
So-
usually. So
Yeah, so Llewellyn and Anthony are both here.
I don't hate
Mm.
Llewellyn.
Anthony would be okay. Look at my board too as well.
I mean, he's not the biggest either, but like, is Kieran Crawford here?
He is.
He could be an option.
It could be an option. Barham is Barham still around?
Barham went top 50.
Oh wow.
What?
Okay.
Jack really likes Barham.
There's so many picks that I like, and then you just throw in these curveballs that I'm just like, I have to accept.
Take this guy. Oh, he's already gone. Dang it.
Okay.
But you guys like Crawford to the Cardinals?
Yeah, I think that's okay with me.
I think I'd be
Okay.
fine with that.
Anthony, you want to sell everybody on Kieran Crawford going day 3?
Yeah, so I mean, he sort of was the actual, everybody kind of talks about Keldrick Falk as being like the Auburn star defensive end. But Kieran Crawford actually was more of a consistent pass rush threat. He's not the biggest. I think he's like 6'4", 250, something like that. But he's got a good first step. I think he's got some decent power for his size. I don't think he's there's a reason he's going day 3. Like, I don't think he's like a true 3 down like guy that you're gonna have on the edge all the time. And I do think, like, if you watch, like, I think a lot of attention was given to Keldrick Falk, and that allowed Crawford to kind of take advantage of some of those opportunities. But again, explosive, high motor guy that I think can be a decent pass rush option for you on those 3rd and long kinds of situations. And I mean, I was watching him at the Senior Bowl, and he was, you could tell he was a high motor guy. So yeah, I think he's a nice day 3 addition to just get more just juice off the edge.
So the New York Giants are up at 105. They have taken Jeremiah Love and Chase Besantis.
Okay.
So, they're in the discussions for Caleb Downs. So that would imply to me that they could use a safety, whether that's replacing Tyler Nubin or playing with Tyler Nubin. And Kamari Ramsey is still available in round 4.
I think they need a corner, I think.
Yeah, and I was going to say they also need a corner, and Tacario Davis is here. As well as some of the other corners we've already talked about. Brian, thoughts on what you think New York would do here?
What other corners are still there besides Davis? I don't know if he's a great fit for the defense.
Davis, Moore, Domani Jackson, Will Lee III. Maybe Thaddeus Dixon. One of you said that you were relatively high on Thaddeus Dixon as well.
That's me. That's my him and Devin Moore are my 2 guys that I've been high on since the summer that took people a while to catch up on.
Anthony, you want to weigh in?
I was to say, yeah, I don't know if Brian froze. Yeah, I don't. I mean, in Brian's honor, I could do that. It's Thad Dixon here. I think he's again. I think they need to get a corner. And
Is-
I'm not. I'm Brian's probably higher than I am, but like I don't think Dixon is outrageous at this point. So I'm
Okay.
good with that.
Okay, so the Houston Texans are up at pick 106. So the Texans, I think, are having a pretty good draft.
Did they?
Their
As long as they
draft so
drafted
far,
offensive line, then. Well, oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Cassius Howell, Lee Hunter, Max Cord, Jake Slaughter.
I'm not even like the biggest Howell guy, but yeah, that's a solid group.
Yeah. So, and it's an unusual draft because the Texans didn't go offensive line early, but they definitely are getting, like, I'm just looking at that draft, and anytime that you draft 4 trench players in the first 3 rounds, the draft always looks good.
Yeah.
Um,
No, and I agree with, and to that point, I think this might be where the running backs run for day 3 begins.
So a lot of running backs went earlier in the mock, but we will look at the running backs which are available.
All right, yeah. How many did you take away from me?
A lot. So I think Emmett Johnson is the best available running back left.
Okay. I mean,
But
I guess this is sort of implying that I guess like Mike Washington is gone and
yes,
who
Katron
else?
Allen
Yeah, wow.
and
Katron
Price.
Allen, Price. Who else do I have here? Jonah
There's-
Coleman, I guess, is gone.
Jonah Coleman went as well. Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. So 5 running backs went in
Katron
the
Allen
first
went.
3 rounds.
Man, some of these.
So
I got
so Marcus really likes Katron Allen.
Okay.
So
I
it was
mean,
a day 2 pick.
listen. I love, Marcus is great. Love him. Not for me in day 2, but sure. I mean Emmett Johnson I think I would take Emmett Johnson day 2, so I would then have no problem with him because they just signed Montgomery, right? So that's sort of your, I mean Montgomery's obviously older and more worn down now, but that's sort of what the Lions were doing with Gibbs and Montgomery. You get your more speedy kind of flashier runner with Montgomery, who's more of that traditional power runner kind of guy. So, and
Brian, where are you on Emmett Johnson?
About here, I would say, yeah. I know some people love him as a running back 2 and stuff like that. I'm not that high on Emmett Johnson. But yeah, like around end of round 3, early round 4, I think about where I see Emmett Johnson going.
Okay, so Cleveland also had a busy draft. They were able to get Carnell Tate and Monroe Freeling, Keith Abney and Zachariah Branch.
What else they need though?
So
I mean, I think it might just be offensive line again, honestly.
And is there an offensive lineman that you have in mind, Anthony?
Yeah. I mean, I know they signed they signed Zion Johnson. Who else? Titus Howard and the other somebody else in the interior. Oh, Tevin Jenkins. And Elton Jenkins. Yeah. No, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
Elton
Anyway.
Jenkins, yeah. The Browns got Elton Jenkins, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like you could just get another.
Ray Zune and Brian Parker are both here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind either of those. I kind of feel like, I guess Parker's the higher rated player for me, but I don't know if he kind of fits. If Monken's going to be like more of that power kind of, what he was doing in Baltimore. Like, I don't know if Parker fits that necessarily.
Brian, your thoughts on your best offensive lineman available?
Probably kind of somewhat with probably Parker, kind of like what Anthony was saying. I mean, although Tiernan's there and Tiernan's close, well, yeah, Tiernan's kind of close. I mean, I still have questions about his length and his being a little bit stiff and stuff like that, but
Tiernan is a
mean,
good value here. I feel like even with those. concerns.
yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking with Tiernan there in the fourth is kind of good value, but
Farmer is still here as well. So it sounds like you guys are a little bit lower on Farmer, but there's a lot of people that say, how come Farmer ever got out of round 2? So
I think
I
we're
guess
gonna
in
find
my
out.
seat, I hear a lot of things. So,
well, I mean, guards always
Do-
drop in the draft, so
yep. And like, would Kamari Ramsey add value to the Browns? I mean, because Ramsey is, I feel like he's consensus day 2, but he's sitting here. So I'm going to be asking about Kamari Ramsey until we find a spot for him.
I kind of feel like, and it honestly might be Ramsey. There's just too many good safeties that the NFL just doesn't take those. The NFL just doesn't take good safeties as high as they probably honestly should. Like Xavier Watts went 92nd,
Right.
and he was almost Rookie of the Year. So it's like there's going to be one of these safeties that probably does fall to day 3 that
Right.
we all think talent-wise shouldn't fall to day 3. And
Yeah,
it might
so
honestly be
Husky
Ramsey.
and Genesis Smith went ahead of Kamari Ramsey.
See, that's a little. See, I don't like that, but
But
Look
here
at
we are.
Genesis.
they're different players, so I can't really
Right.
like be too mad at it. But I have Ramsey higher than both of them.
I guess
Does
Smith going
Cleveland
for
need
him,
a
but Husky,
slot?
I don't-
Was that
Cleveland what?
Does Cleveland need a slot or safety? I know that Ramsey played slot in college, but most draft professors say Kamari would be a better safety than slot.
Well, Ramsey played slot this year, but he played free safety the previous few years, and he's more of a free safety.
Yeah, I think I agree. I don't think they need a safety. They have Delpit
Okay.
and Hickman. I mean, they could use another safety, but I would still go offensive line here.
Okay. So do you guys like Zune or Parker? Or are you looking for a project tackle?
I would take Tiernan, and then you can try him out as a swing tackle, and then, or potentially he even maybe kicks inside. But I think Tiernan is worth a day 3 pick.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Denver is up. Denver has made 1 pick.
Mhm.
It was round 2,
And it was a
and it was
quarterback.
Anthony Hill Jr.
Huh.
Okay.
So they need like a nose tackle, like a 1 technique. They could also
Yeah.
use a wide receiver. So I'm curious if you like any of these wide receivers for Denver. They could also use some offensive line help, but I think they just extended their center, so the need at center, I believe, went away.
Hmm.
I kind of feel like, as much as I know they just signed Jalen Waddle, but like I feel like Antonio Williams is kind of just staring me in the face. Like he's one that probably should also be gone at this point. And I feel like he kind of actually fits like next to, like with Waddle. I mean, they kind of overlap a bit, I feel like, but Williams, at least I feel like, can be a little more of a vertical threat than Waddle, I think, usually is. And then Sutton is kind of like your big X. But Williams would line up primarily in the slot anyway. So I kind of feel like if it's receiver, I feel like that's the direction.
Ryan, what's your grade on Antonio Williams? Like, where's he on your board?
I have like a late day 2 pick grade on him, so or like a probably I'd say more like mid day 2 pick on him. So the value definitely is there. So I agree with Anthony what he's saying.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is but the only thing is like he said they kind of cross over him and Waddle a little bit, but I mean if they're only going to keep Waddle for a year or two, then maybe it's okay type of thing.
Okay, Commanders are up. They acquired this pick in a trade down in round 1.
Okay.
So they've taken Ioane and Allen.
So we have to pick a Penn State player.
I just noticed that.
I don't even. As I said that, I'm like, who is from Penn State that we would take? And I don't know of one offhand.
Would Kamari Ramsey fit the Commanders?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like they need a safety and could also use him as a he could do multiple things in Dan Quinn's defense. I think primarily he would be a safety, but he probably would flex to nickel sometimes. So I actually think that is a good fit there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Bengals. So this was the first mock in a long time that we didn't put an offensive lineman to the Bengals on day 1 or 2. There were like 3 straight mocks where Chase Besantis went to the Bengals, and Ryan Sparks let me hear about it. So they've done Caleb Downs, D'Angelo Pons, Dominique Orange, all defense, and they still haven't addressed edge. So my question would be, is there an edge that you guys like day 3 for the Bengals? Or is there another player like a Trey Zune? Or, they do talk about slot receivers. Or even possibly running back, if there's a running back that you like. Like, do you guys like Nadine Tucker early round 4?
Not me.
I do, but not necessarily. Like Cincinnati's one of these teams that, similar to the Packers, like they have what they prefer in terms of edges, in terms of size and athleticism and stuff like that. And I don't think Tucker fits.
Would that be LT Overton?
I don't know what LT Overton is, honestly.
He doesn't know what he wants to be.
He doesn't know what he is. I don't know what he is. I don't think anyone knows what he is. He's just his own thing. Something.
Maybe
Vincent Anthony.
He's a bigger edge, good tester.
Yeah,
I think makes sense.
You like Vincent Anthony to the Bengals?
Are we really going to do 4 defensive picks for the Bengals? I mean, I guess. I honestly, actually, no, that's probably fine. They need it.
I mean, seriously, like if I mocked offensive line to the Bengals, like Chase Besantis was a pick that I made, and it was a pick another draft professor picked Besantis for the Bengals. And we just keep hearing about the Bengals have like one of the top 10 most efficient offensive lines in the league from Ryan. But I'm like, well, if Burrow keeps getting hurt, you have a problem on your offensive line. That's my interpretation. So
yeah, I mean, I still think they need an upgrade at guard, but I mean, we can worry about that next round. It's fine.
Okay, so Denver is another pick. So we've done Antonio Williams. We've done Anthony Hill. Is there a tight end that you guys like for Denver?
Who's available?
There's only been 4 that are taken. The Raritan, Jolly, Burkhardt,
Jolie.
Klein, Endries, Koziel, Bentley, Hibner are all available.
Oh, has Oscar Delp gone?
Yeah, he went at the
Okay.
end of round 3.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I was gonna say if he was here, that's an easy pick too. Um,
Where are you guys on Endries?
he's a mid day 3 guy.
Mid day
for me.
3.
Okay.
Um,
How about
I like
Jolly?
but I mean,
I'm higher
Yeah, I
on
like Jolie.
Jolly than Endries. I wouldn't hate Jolly at this spot.
Yeah. I think Jolie would be a good pick.
Okay. I like it. Dallas. This is their 4th pick. Dallas has had one of the most unique mocks that I've seen. David Bailey, round 1. Casey Concepcion, round 1. Jalen Kilgore, round 3. They still need a linebacker.
Interesting.
They need a linebacker. They need a corner. They need
Mm.
and yeah. I guess that's the main 2, and then you could talk about defensive line, but
Yeah, linebacker
I
corner,
would,
yeah.
I would
And I
say
think the
linebacker,
need
corner.
at cornerback is significant.
I think even honestly, even if Revel like heals up and plays well, it's still not good. It's still just him and Deron Blank.
Right. I mean, there's a reason that Delane and McCoy were off the board before Dallas picked at 12.
Yeah, I mean that's just unfortunate. But
Yep.
yeah, I think they need
Is this
yeah.
Tacario
Corner, yeah.
Davis, or is there a corner that you like better for Dallas?
Who else do I have written down here?
Will Lee's still there.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Will Lee or Tacario Davis?
I would take Willie of those 2.
Okay, so Will Lee, welcome to Dallas.
Low moving costs.
Yeah, I think Dallas would take him too, just because the name recognition.
Honestly, yeah, his nickname is the Blanket. I'm sure Jerry Jones would love that. So,
Because you need to sell more blankets in Dallas.
oh yeah, are you kidding me? Cowboys blanket merch is gonna.
Yeah, that's how he's gonna sell, make money.
Yep.
Okay. Indianapolis Colts. I believe this is their 3rd pick. The Colts have taken Daryl Jackson Jr. and Kyle Lewis.
I can't imagine that if Daryl Jackson Jr. is their first pick in the entire draft, that Colts fans are gonna be happy about it. I'm just saying.
They're gonna flip.
They're gonna
So-
flip their lid.
Is there a receiver that is like they have to replace the Pittman. Now, granted, Pittman had been hurt for the last couple of years, but they do have an opening at wide receiver on their roster. They have Josh Downs. They have Alec Pierce.
It'd have to be someone. They're similar to Green Bay with their receivers, so they like big athletic guys. So
Is that Malachi Fields?
He's too slow.
It's
So that's he's big, just not athletic.
yeah. He
And-
ran up 4.
And I assume that Jacoby Lane is in the same bucket, big but not athletic.
I think Lane is a little more athletic, but I still don't
Yeah.
know if he qualifies.
Not, right. He tested better than he plays, kind of.
Yeah.
Burks, Benson, CJ
Mhm.
Daniels. CJ Daniels is an older prospect.
He was fast before he tore his ACL.
Yeah. What are the other wide receivers?
Yep.
I gotta make this.
Fields, Lane, Burks, Benson, Daniels, Caldwell, Bond, McAllister, Coleman, Cameron, Xavier Thomas, Colby Young. We could punt on wide receiver because there might be more value. Some of those guys might look better in round 5 than they do in round 4.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say the one that stood out to me was Eric McAllister, but I don't mind waiting to see if he gets to round 5.
So after linebacker and
Especially this-
defensive line, what do we think the Colts would need?
Let me look at their depth chart again.
Is it corner?
Yeah, I mean they signed
Mm,
well, they have Cam Taylor-Britt and Travarius Ward. They obviously already had Sauce and Kenny Moore.
That sounds like a deep room. How about safety?
Well, I kind of feel like
or-
because they took Kyle Lewis that you can take like a I don't think Kyle Lewis is like an true off ball
Right.
linebacker. Like I feel like if the Colts are taking him, they're going to use him as like a hybrid safety kind of thing. And I'm not a
There-
Colts expert, but
Right. Is there a linebacker here that you like in round 4?
I like Alarms or Torian York, honestly.
Brian, how about you? Which one has the higher RAS score?
Yeah, that's kind of the problem.
or for sure.
I mean, yeah. Or does.
That's
I
kinda
was
the
pretty
issue.
sure. I was pretty sure it was going to be Orr because York is a little bit shorter.
No, yeah, York is too short. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's
Brian,
not that athletic either. I mean, not.
Where is Elarms Orr for you?
Yeah, he's. I would say 5th round. So I mean, we're getting towards where I think he's graded. So
We'll do Elarms Orr.
yeah.
Unless somebody gives me a different idea.
Now we can do wide receiver later.
Later, yeah.
Okay. So the Eagles are up. So the Eagles. Blake Miller, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, Skylar Bell, Davison Igbinosun. I think that's a pretty good draft.
That day 2 is sick.
Yeah.
First round, whatever. But
crazy.
the day 2 is kind of sick draft.
So I mean, that means we have to make it a bad pick next week.
Yeah, we have to ruin them. I'm not okay. I'm not even just saying this, but like it might actually be a quarterback.
A backup, or you mean developmental?
If they because if they potentially are willing to move Tanner McKee, and then you also, I kind of just feel like they can use a possible developmental guy behind
Is
Jalen
it
Hurts.
Nussmeier or are you thinking of somebody else?
I think if
That's why it's not developmental.
no, well, right. Yeah, I'm actually surprised Nussmeier's still here, but Aller's not.
Carson Beck went to Georgia.
He did. That's true.
That's technically yes.
I don't know. Maybe Eagles fans would
They
wanna
also need a
riot.
tight end.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I know they brought Goddard back, but that's not enough for me to feel good about it.
I mean, yeah, Reardon's there, but it's not.
I mean, do they would they go take like a Berkature type of player and just really try to, bring back
Mash.
the run down your throat kind of team that they want to be?
And if they wanted upside, would they go Klein?
They could.
That would be.
It's
That
an
would actually
upside
make good
pick.
sense.
Yeah.
That would make.
Right?
Yeah,
Brian,
that'd
why
be
does that
a
make
Goddard.
sense?
He could be like a Goddard replacement in like a year or two. because he's got good athleticism. He can run. You can run your what do you call it, like your tight end slot fades and stuff like that to draw draw linebackers and stuff like that. So he can do that type of stuff. He can stretch the field. He hasn't played a super lot at Michigan, so I think he's a little bit of a developmental player. So I think that's why.
He also gives you that blocking, like he can block. Again, he's not like super great at it just because he doesn't have a lot of snaps, but
he can do it.
Can do it. He's got the size and so.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Ravens are up next at pick 115. So they've done Spencer Fano, Kristen Miller, Sam Hecht. I feel like they need wide receiver, corner, and edge.
They always need a receiver.
Yeah, yeah. What's the receiver board look like again?
Right now, Fields and Lane.
Yeah, I was gonna say they could use like an actual like X like big receiver. So whichever one of those two we like is probably because I mean
Brian, who's higher for Brian, Lane or Fields? Brian may have locked up
again.
Who's higher for you, Anthony, Lane or Fields?
It would be Fields, but I mean it's like if you talked me into Lane over Fields, I like wouldn't really push back on you, but I would take Fields here, and I feel like that actually makes sense for them.
Okay. Next team is Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No, I think you're back, Brian.
Okay, I don't know why mine's being weird today.
So the Buccaneers have done Akeem Mesidor, CJ Allen, Max Clare, and they're on the clock in round 4.
It's actually, I like that draft.
Something, there's a few teams that came out wacky. Kenny, the 49ers came out wacky, but maybe we can fix that here in round 4. At least based upon Twitter feedback, the 49ers came out wacky. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of teams that are having a pretty good draft. So the Buccaneers, would they take a wide receiver here to replace Mike Evans?
I mean, Lane, maybe.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, they really don't have anybody outside of Godwin and Ekbuka. Okay.
Well, I mean, they have Tez Johnson, but I don't think Tez Johnson is going to prevent us from taking a wide receiver.
Yeah, no.
No, not even close.
No, this could actually be Jacoby Lane. Yeah. I don't hate that.
Ryan, any objection to Jacoby Lane?
No, I think it's a good fit.
Raiders back on the clock. So the Raiders, we took Benny earlier in round 4 after they took Mendoza, Chris Johnson, Bryce Lance. Is there an offensive lineman that we like? Because they definitely have some interior offensive line issues.
I mean, well, this feels like Brian Parker would make sense because they're going to be running a lot of.
That's right. Yeah, it's still there. Yeah.
Zone. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Parker makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Detroit Lions on the clock at 118. Lions in this mock have made 2 picks, Caleb Lomu and Zion Young. I think those are the 2 biggest needs on the roster.
Yeah.
But they still could probably use a center, correct?
Yep.
Trey Zune is still here. Do you guys have Trey Zune high enough to take him in round 4?
I don't.
I could see it.
I would be fine with that. I mean, they did
Yeah,
sign Cade
agree.
Mays, so like they have something, but no,
There'd be somebody there.
it does not preclude you from taking Trey Zune here.
Yeah, and
So
plus,
you
worst comes to worst, Zoom could play guard or something like that. So
Yeah.
Okay, so the Panthers are up. So the Panthers have made 3 picks. Caleb Banks, Jeremy Bernard, Genesis Smith. They also need a tight end. They're a team that frequently has Kenyon Sadiq mocked to them in round 1. And they haven't addressed tight end. But they
need-
also haven't addressed offensive line. And like Anthony, I don't know what you thought of their offensive line, but when Buffalo played Carolina, they made Buffalo's pass rush look like 4 All-Pros.
Well, I was going to say they need an offensive tackle because Ike Ekwonu's not healthy. So they need to get another tackle in there.
Okay, so let's take a look at who our best available are.
Yeah, I don't know who that is at this point, but
looks like Shelton's one of them.
I mean, yeah, maybe it honestly is Drew Shelton.
Farmer's
or-
more of a guard.
Or Bowery. I mean, Markel Bell's probably the higher ceiling pick here, but actual Barber.
But yeah, Austin Barber is still here.
Austin Barber's like the higher floor, I think.
I think Austin Barber's the best prospect on this list, in my opinion, which isn't the highest bar, but it's a factual statement.
You know, Barber was an interesting eval. So, Anthony, as you know, like when we were doing scouting reports with offensive line, right? You had one of the podcasts on Saturday morning, and then Jerry and Owen had the other one on Tuesday. Jerry and Owen loved Austin Barber. They loved him enough to say round 1 Austin Barber.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody else was even sniffing day 2, it felt like.
Mm-hmm. And here we are.
Yep.
I that sounds meaner than it should be because I did actually like Austin Barber more during the summer than I do now. But I feel like here he's the one. He's the one of every player here that if I had to play him at left tackle right away, I would be as okay with it as I could be. So I feel like Austin Barber's the pick.
And Anthony, you have another pick.
Hell yeah.
No, that's my pick. I'm just kidding.
So, Brian, what do you think Anthony should do with the pick that the Jets acquired in the trade with the Packers?
He should draft a kicker or a punter.
Hell yeah. A lawn snapper.
There you go.
No. Who did I don't even remember who I just drafted for them. Who did I?
For the Jets.
Roush.
Oh yeah, Roush. That's right. I mean, again, this roster is just so bad. You really could make an argument
Anywhere.
for any position and be fine with it. God. I mean, they do. I mean, they honestly they should throw a day 3 quarterback dart. And actually, if Nussmeier's here, not that I mean, again, I'm not like the big Nussmeier guy, but like, if you want to have somebody when Geno Smith inevitably stinks it up and we have to switch quarterbacks in like week 8, Nussmeier could actually like not totally sink the team. So
Start a few
you know
games.
yeah. So you know what? I'm good with that.
Okay. So the Steelers are on the clock. So the Steelers have made 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. Jordan Tyson, Caden Proctor, Josiah Trotter, Keontae Scott, Chris McClellan.
That is an
I
interesting.
actually like
group
that
of players.
draft. It's a good draft.
Yeah, overall solid.
So I'm looking at that, and there is no boundary corner in that. Right? Keontae
No.
Scott probably plays the slot, maybe safety.
Slot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's a slot.
I mean, they also need probably another quarterback in the room,
And they just sniped Nussmeier, the
and
nerd.
they just I'm sure Mike McCarthy's devastated. Um,
Sawyer Robertson.
no,
I'll never quit Sawyer Robertson.
I think the NFL is about to quit him.
You don't think he gets drafted?
I think if anything, he's a 7th round flyer or 6th round flyer or something, but I just don't see the appeal anymore. But that's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe this is just corner again, or honestly, like it could just be another defensive line pick. As kind of maybe cliche as that sounds.
So how high are you on Zane Durant, Brian?
Not super high because he's kind of one dimensional, but I mean, like I
Okay.
think I wouldn't take him here personally. I'd probably wait till like the 5th round, but
Okay.
what else they could use?
With the Steelers have drafted injured corners before. I don't know if they've drafted them in round 4, but Devin Moore is still here.
I mean, that'd be an upside pick.
Say that again.
That'd be an upside pick. Like you're hoping that he stays healthy and he reaches his potential and stuff like that. Like he'd be really good.
You guys like Devin Moore to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I think he's a good value here, so I don't hate it.
Okay. Okay, Atlanta on the clock. Okay, so this is a draft that received some feedback on Twitter. And
Oh,
I was saying that
only positive feedback.
I mean, they've only
So-
had. I was gonna say they've only had 2 picks, so I don't know how
So-
you could have.
They didn't like Akis over corner or receiver, but they need to replace James Peters. So, and Jack loves Akis. So I will stand by. I think the player that was picked is a really good player. You could argue the need, but the player that was picked was a really good player. But the Falcons do need a wide receiver, like it's going out of style, to put opposite Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, they do.
So, Brian, what kind of wide receiver would you put opposite Garrett Wilson?
Drake London.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, Drake London. Thank you. What wide receiver would you put what kind of wide receiver would you put opposite Drake London?
Someone who could play Z, I would say. Because London's going to be like X all day, every day. Probably someone with some decent speed.
That Malik Benson? Is that Deion Burks?
Maybe Burks. I mean, he's a slot, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Anthony?
I feel like Burks is a slot. I feel like I feel like Benson is I mean, I guess he could be a Z. He just feels really. I don't think I would take him this high.
Yep. So the chat is helping us. So the chat is suggesting Josh
No.
Cameron. I don't know that I
Yeah.
like Cameron in round 4. I like
No, I
Cameron. I don't know if Stribling went in round 3. Other than that, great idea. If Stribling were here, he would have been a name I would have invoked.
Yeah, and honestly, I probably would have actually backed Stribling.
Stribling went at pick 91 to Buffalo.
Yeah.
So I may have known the person that made that pick. Just maybe.
Yeah, man. Wow. Yeah, I really don't like this. I really don't like the wide receiver board. I mean,
Kind of got picked over already.
Yeah, I just feel like. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess you could still take Burks and just. No, but you have like because now I'm looking at like they have Jahan Dotson and Zacchaeus, and that just feels like
I was
You're
just thinking
just-
about that too. Yeah, the Zacchaeus here.
you're just adding another small receiver.
The like a Xavier Thomas, or I mean, it feels early for Xavier Thomas and Chris Hilton, but maybe not, considering both of those guys are 4-3 guys that can play the X.
I mean, me would take Chris Hilton here, but I genuinely think I'm the only person that thinks that. So
No,
you
but
don't-
I mean, Anthony, that's part of this exercise, right? We can put our stamp on the board. Brian, where are you on Chris Hilton from LSU? There's
Oh.
a shout out in the chat for Colby Young.
Oh, yeah, I went to Gilman early. Sorry, who'd you ask? I cut out for a second there.
I asked Chris Hilton. Like, where
Oh.
are you on Chris Hilton?
Yeah, I'm not as high as Anthony and Chris Hilton. I wouldn't take him to like the 5th or 6th.
Is there
Yes,
another position? Like, they do need a defensive tackle. Like, is there a defensive tackle? Like a one tech? Because they do like Daryl Jackson Jr. Right? Like
mean-
Clint would love Daryl Jackson Jr. in Atlanta.
I mean, we never took Corleone, right?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
he could work here potentially.
You like Corleone over the wide receivers, Brian?
yeah. At this point in the draft, yeah.
Okay, so the Chargers are on the clock here. And the Chargers have taken Lawrence, Rutledge, and Delp. And this is one of only 2 picks that they have left. I believe they need a defensive tackle, and I believe they need a
Yeah.
corner.
They do need both of those.
Yeah.
None of these names are are
Exciting.
exciting me. Yeah. I mean,
Maybe a corner, I guess.
I guess corner, and I mean, I guess this can be like,
This Tacario Davis.
I guess, or I mean, I would be into Demings.
Yeah. Yeah, Demings is the higher upside.
It's like slightly early, but like
pick.
not like offensively early.
No, it's fine.
We could give a
Charles Demings.
Stephen F. Austin get some love.
Moving up to the FBS, so
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we are almost at the end of round 4 here. So the Jaguars are back up. The Jaguars have taken Stowers, Dunker, Bud Clark, Malik Muhammad.
All
I'm
right.
looking at this and thinking that they need a defensive lineman here, whether it's interior or edge. I mean, they have a lot of picks left.
Don't they
There's a lot of
need
picks.
not, I mean, I guess not need, but like they lost Achan, so
Right.
they need a running back.
So who do you like at the end of round 4 at running back, Anthony?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? I'll
pay you the $1 million in Monopoly money.
Yeah. That's probably what they would pay this running back. I mean, I like Randall.
yeah. Me
It
too.
was mentioned in the chat earlier.
Yeah, I
I-
saw that.
I like Randall. I think when he was mentioned, we were going to take Emmett Johnson, and I think Emmett Johnson is pretty
The higher player.
higher
Yeah.
for me than Randall. But at this point, it would be Randall or Jamari Taylor. Oh no, it would actually no. I take that back. It would be Robert Henry or Adam Randall for me. I think Henry's the better back, the better like runner, but Randall gives you that receiving dimension that I don't really think Henry does. But I guess also at the same time, like, because they have LaKent Allen, right? So he can kind of be your receiving guy. And then you have Tootin, who's also kind of a receiving guy. So maybe you do just get Henry as kind of like a change of pace.
But that would give you like 3 small backs.
Yeah, that's true. They kind of need a bigger body, actually.
Is that
Uh,
Black or Hemby?
It would be, well, it would be either, honestly. They're both kind of.
That's what I mean. That's when I said or, I was saying because both of them are bigger backs. Yes.
Yeah, one or the other. Yeah, you could. I honestly, I don't really love either of them, but
They're both
if Brian was
yeah,
passionate
one
about,
runners basically.
I mean, McGowan's not terrible here. It's a little reachy for me, but he's that bigger back, and I like him more than the Indiana guys.
Yeah, I would say either McGowan or Randall.
Okay. We'll go McGowan. Okay. The New England Patriots are up. New England in this mock.
Did they get a Will Campbell replacement?
Omar Cooper Jr., Jacob Rodriguez, Romello Height. So they have
Okay.
not addressed offensive line at all.
Shelton.
And you could argue that they might need a bigger edge because Height might be more of a DPR or outside linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, it is Vrabel's. Like Heid'll play edge, or he'll play 3-4 outside linebacker in
Yep.
Vrabel's defense. Yeah, what do they look?
I mean, it's
Who'd they? Oh, they took Omar Cooper. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
so wide receivers covered.
Mm,
Yeah.
Suggestion from the chat. It's not a bad idea.
No, I don't hate a tight end pick.
Yep. And then
Here,
another,
Raritan.
yeah. And then FCS Scouting, thanks for stopping by. I think those are two excellent suggestions.
I would agree. Both of those are good suggestions. I think the only other case I would make is if we did go interior offensive line.
Is there somebody here that you're thinking of?
I mean, we're probably getting closer to Farmer range.
I think Farmar. Yeah, I think that's his range.
And he kind of, I feel like, fits
Their
that
style.
kind of their style of play more.
Yeah, and he's
I'm trying. Who else is? Let me look at this again. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I'd say Farmer or Raritan. Yeah, I'd say Farmer or Raritan or both make sense.
Okay.
yeah, Jim
I'm up for the Bills. My linebackers have been sniped. So when Elarms Orr went off the board, I was out on round 4 linebackers for Buffalo. So to review the Buffalo picks, Buffalo has not made a pick on this podcast, but if you look for the podcast that led up to this, Buffalo took Caden McDonald, Derek Moore, and Deshaun Stribling in rounds 2 and 3. And that was with a trade with Arizona where they moved up to get Ty Simpson. Okay.
It's actually pretty realistic, probably.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We do all right. Like, just generally speaking, as a community with draft professors, we do all right.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking right now, offensive line, because linebacker, the value isn't there in round 4. I do think there's a lot of really good offensive linemen here, but I'm going to go with one of Owen's guys. Whoops. Hit the wrong button. Control F. So where are you guys on J.C. Davis from Illinois? Brian?
I like. Yeah, I liked him on his New Mexico film, and then like even kind of last year a bit with Illinois and stuff. I feel like he's put on a little bit too much weight. Because I remember we had verified measurements on him when he was at New Mexico State, and he was like, I want to say like 310 or something like that. It doesn't move as well, I think, as a heavier weight. But I think a lot of people talk about him possibly playing guard too. So I think it's he's one of those guys, you know, you put him out there at tackle and let him fail inside, as they say. You know, tackle at least he'll be a pretty good guard because he's got a really good anchor. He's got really good length too. I mean, even if he was a guard, if I remember right, it's like 34-inch arms. So, and he's got power in his hands. So I think he can play guard for sure. You know, I think you just put him at tackle and just see if he can still hang there. And if he can, then you just keep him there. And then otherwise you just have a good guard.
Anthony, how about you? Where are you in Davis?
Yeah, pretty similar. Mid to late day 3 guy. I think he's got the build of a tackle, and you like the power that he has. But I just don't think athletically he's going to be able to stick a tackle. So I feel like he's going to wind up at guard, but yeah, you can let him fail, so to speak. You know, if he goes to Buffalo, he gets to learn from Deion Dawkins, which is probably helpful too. But yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at him here.
Yep. And Buffalo likes players that have positional versatility. They don't want, because Davis is coming in as a backup, right? He's not going to have to play tackle. Buffalo is the 2 best offensive tackles in the league, according to me. So he would either be playing guard or be backing up at swing tackle. The biggest problem is Buffalo, when Vandemark went to Minnesota, Vandemark was always available. The other backup tackle for Buffalo is Tylen Grable, and he spent more time on injured reserve than he has on the active roster the last 2 years. So, okay. So San Francisco, we got Kenny here from the 49ers, and we got CG Ruthless in the chat from the 49ers. And I know from the feedback on my Twitter page,
I have to know
that we have 4 4th-round picks to improve on Emmanuel Pregnon and Jadarian Price. So Jack really liked Pregnon, and Marcus really liked Price, and that's how those 2 players went in those spots. So I know from doing podcasts with numerous 49ers people, they need wide receiver, they need offensive tackle, and then maybe some edge, and maybe even Thieneman, if he was there in round 1, would be an option. So safety may be an option. Anthony and Brian, thoughts on anybody that you like here for San Francisco at any of those positions?
Yeah, I would agree though. I'd be wide receiver or tackle. I think likely at this point.
I kind of feel like they need a pass rusher.
Interesting.
And they have 4 picks in this round. So, like, this is the first of 4 picks we're about to be making for them. So edges, like Joshua Josephs is here, Nadeem Tucker, LT Overton, Mikael Kamara is here at the end of round 4. Dion Burks is here at wide receiver. Malik Benson is here at wide receiver. CJ Daniels, Lewis Bond are all here at wide receiver. Offensive tackles would include Shelton, Bell, Wagner, World. Fraunover is here.
Mhm.
Thoughts on any of those guys?
They, trying to think. They do kind of like bigger edge rushers, if I remember right.
Yeah, well, because they took Michael.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Williams. Yes.
Yeah.
But then he kind of didn't play great, and then they literally had no other edge rushers.
And they invested heavily in defensive line last year because they did Michael Williams. I believe they got CJ West.
Yeah, and Alfred
there-
Collins.
Yeah, and Alfred Collins. Yes. So
Say probably Joseph's of those guys, even though he's smaller. Probably the
Yeah,
best bet.
I would probably agree. Yeah, I would probably do Joshua Josephs.
Joshua Josephs,
Yeah.
welcome to San Francisco. Okay. Detroit Lions. So this is, I believe, their second pick of round 4. And the Lions took Trey Zune after they took Caleb Lomu and Zion Young. I think the Lions need a corner. They took 2 corners a couple years ago, but one of them isn't working out. From what Ian Cummings told me.
Yep.
You guys like Tacario Davis at the end of round 4? Is he a good scheme fit for Detroit?
I think it's okay.
Yeah, I feel like they because they play a lot of zone, right?
I believe so, yeah.
I feel like they play a lot of zone, and that's kind of why Terry and Arnold hasn't really been great.
Worked out, yeah.
Yeah,
Tacario Davis is better in zone anyway, so.
So yeah, that's what I mean. Like I think Tacario makes sense from that perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, Chicago's on the clock. Chicago made 4 picks in this mock already. Peter Woods, Jake Golday, Brandon Cisse, Connor Liu. None of those are an edge rusher. And edge rushers are typically mocked to Chicago on day 1 or day 2. Do you guys have an edge rusher that you would like in Chicago?
Nah. I mean, maybe Max Llewellyn.
Where are you guys on Mikael Kamara?
Late day 3.
Late, yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
And we're not late, so okay.
Not yet.
You said Llewellyn would be somebody you would consider, Anthony?
I would for Chicago, yeah, because they're Dennis Allen defense, so they're gonna want size and athleticism at that spot.
Yeah.
And Llewellyn is really honestly the only one that kind of gives it to you at this
And
point.
you're bypassing LT Overton. You definitely like Llewellyn over Overton.
In multiple ways, yes.
Thank you for being polite about that.
I
I'm looking to
saw
see if there
somebody-
was any edges further down the list.
I saw somebody tweeted today that like because we had LT Overton so high over the summer, as a collective group, like we've now like overcorrected, and now we're saying he's worse than he actually is, and I think he actually is just kind of not good, but
So somebody in the chat is saying putting Caleb Proctor with Peter Woods makes more sense than us grabbing an edge. Any thoughts on that?
I mean they have, well,
So they,
not that,
they already have.
because I was just gonna say they have like Grady Jarrett, they have Gervon Dexter, like.
Yeah, they have guys who can play 3-tech.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like I'm not saying like Grady Jarrett and Gervon Dexter are like, these amazing players that would stop you from taking another defensive tackle, but I feel like I feel like they need more like actual just like on the edge pass rush, because like
Yeah.
they have Montez Sweat, they have oh my god, I can't say his name. Oda Yingbo. And then that's kind of it. So,
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think Llewellyn can come in and be a decent DPR as a rookie,
Yeah.
first couple years or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so Miami. So Miami made 6 picks in this mock already. 7 picks. I got to learn how to count. Jermod McCoy and Dylan Thieneman in round 1. Keldrick Falk in round 2. Brennan Thompson, Danny Dennis Sutton, Elijah Surratt, and Cole Payton in round 3. So, Anthony, initial thoughts on all those players joining the AFC East?
my overall thought is I'm not happy. Yeah, wow. Defense. You add Jermod McCoy, Dylan Thieneman, and Keldrick Falk to your defense in one draft. Like if they all pan out to what they should be, that's actually pretty awful for the rest of the division.
Yep. And then we have a Cole Payton fan in the chat.
Then I have to deal with Cole Payton in Miami, which Bryce Lance will be in New England. Cole Payton's going to be in Miami, and it's just
Cole Payton's going to win. Cole Payton's going to end up winning a Super Bowl in Miami.
Yeah, he's going to replace Malik Willis by week 9, and then that'll be it. That'll be the rest is history.
So, is this like Miami doesn't have a tight end to the best of my knowledge? So they've grabbed 2 edges. They've grabbed 2 wide receivers. I'm thinking this would either be tight end or offensive line.
I would agree. Their starting tight end is Greg Dulcich, but also their offensive line is horrendous. So,
and maybe linebacker because they're in on Sonny Styles. He just didn't drop to their pick. But I don't know if you guys think that there's a linebacker here at the end of round 4 that you really like.
Well, so value-wise, I'd say Torian York. The problem is they're now in the Packers school of thought where they care about RAS and measurables and stuff. So I don't think it's Torian York as much as I like, again, value-wise, I would be totally good with him here, but I don't think he's going to go to Miami.
No. So, Brian, is there a Packers pick in here that you like that we could project your Green Bay Packers knowledge onto the Miami Dolphins?
I mean, if you're talking about offensive tackles, I mean, Drew Shelton's kind of Packersy. As far as that testing wise and all that.
I mean, Markel Bell is just his own freaking specimen.
Marco Bell's way too big for them. Yeah, Marco Bell's too big.
Anthony, where's your grade on Drew Shelton right now?
About here. About this range, like early to mid day 3.
Okay.
So I don't hate Drew Shelton here.
Okay. We will do the last 2 picks, and then we will turn round 4 over to Chris Connor, who's going to be finishing this mock draft up in his podcast. So the Patriots.
Again. You know, they took Jalen Farmer.
Yeah, that's right.
Hi, Rodriguez, Cooper.
I'm trying to think of, well, like you need to, I mean, the Patriots have a lot of picks, so it's not like if we missed a need that they can't address it. But I'm thinking, like, if they were in on Thieneman, is there a safety that we like this late on round 4?
What safeties are left?
Check that out. Half is still here.
Do we think maybe like
BJ Payne is still there too.
I was gonna say VJ Payne.
That's right. Anthony,
And-
you've been on VJ Payne since
Yeah,
the
that's what-
summer.
Yeah, I have. And also I was gonna say I kind of feel like he can be like a linebacker too. And can kind of do both.
You can play some, yeah.
Do both for Vrabel.
There we go. Okay. Final pick, the New Orleans Saints. So the Saints in this draft are kicking ass, according to Drew Collins. Sonny Styles, Denzel Boston, AJ Halsey.
They kind of are
Rounds
kicking
1
ass.
through 3. What was
Yeah.
that?
No, they are kicking ass. He's right. Yeah, I mean they could also use a corner. I'm trying to think. They could also use because they signed Travis Etienne. So yeah, it's probably either corner or they could also use a tight end, right? Because is it still just Juwan Johnson and freaking Taysom Hill and whatever? Where are the Saints? They're there.
They could use a tight end. So Drew has mocked tight ends to the Saints before. So
Yeah, they still Oh yeah, that's right. Taysom Hill's not even there anymore. So yeah, they could it's probably either tight end or corner. And I'm gonna guess that the tight end board is stronger at this point. Did we ever take Raritan?
we did not know.
So yeah, I would take Raritan. Give Shuck another downfield weapon.
So there's a comment in the chat. So there is at least 3 people at Draft Professor that have a day 2 grade on Lewis Bond.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yep. So there might even be 4 then at this point. And also so that you know, this list on the right was the order players were picked in a different mock draft. So that's how they got here in whatever order. And I just keep shifting the cells down as we, move to the 133rd row kind of thing. But cool. So Can I have credit? Oh, Raritan. Yes, you can have credit for Eli Raritan.
We'll
We'll
give
give
you
you all the
credit.
credit for that recommendation. Absolutely.
For sure.
So this was an exercise that we call a marathon mock. So this is the fourth podcast that has had their hands on this mock draft, and we're about to hand it to a fifth podcast, which is the last call with Chris. And Chris, if you are still listening, drop your info into the chat. I'll display it on the screen for you. But Chris, on his last call podcast, is going to go through his day 3 grades and fill the rest of the needs in for all these teams. So the basic idea is you can find value when you compare your boards to somebody else's, and pretty much everything at the Draft Professor is there is not one draft board. There's 32 boards that matter. There's one for each of the 32 teams. So any volatility in draft boards is welcome discussion on our podcasts. So we had a lot of really good people in the chat. FCS Scouting, CG Ruthless, excuse me. And then I saw Kenny here. So you guys, it's awesome seeing you. Brian, you want to take a moment, introduce yourself to everybody, tell them about all of the draft content and the wonderful draft database that you have.
Yeah, of course, you see my Twitter handle there, BMAAFI NFL. You just catch me on their Twitter, talking draft, posting up clips. I had a bunch of my drafts I put out. I think I saw a few more in there I got to put out. And I'll quote, for example, like Kentley Play has been tweeting out his RAS cards. Usually I'll give a little, if I have some thoughts or whatever, I'll do a quote tweet on that and give some thoughts about a player or something like that. And then I have my Substack. I'm going to be doing my final positional rankings soon. I'm just trying to finish up a few other things real quick before I get to that. So I have, top 10 each position. And then probably right after the draft, I'll probably do just a big list of 2027 players to look at, to keep an eye on right after the draft, probably at each position. I'll try and list guys, especially guys that people don't know, people don't get to talk about. I'm not going to talk too much about like Arch Manning or anything like that. I'll be talking about guys that people maybe don't get to talk about as much. And then what else? Obviously here every Sunday night. And then if any Packers fans are watching, I have my Packers draft board that I put together every year. I'll be posting that out soon. I'm still working on it. Kentley Platty's dropped a bunch of RAS cards, so I got to enter those in onto my thing. So I'll be posting out that soon for any Packers fans watching.
Anthony.
Yeah, you can find me on X at Anthony_Russo97. You can find my Substack on my X page. I'm posting NFL draft, college football, NFL stuff all the time, and the plan is to have a final mock draft done in the next week or two, and then I will release my top. I don't know if it's going to be 300 or 350 or whatever what number it's going to be at this point.
Top 400.
I don't know at this point, but it's my final big board. Whatever number it's going to be, will be out at least a week before the draft is the goal. So you can find all that stuff there, and here once a week on Draft Professor podcasts as well.
So I first want to thank Anthony and Brian for being here. Draft Professor can't create this content without their help. Please give each of them a follow. Draft Professor is here every day. So we're here with podcasts at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday. We have a group mock draft every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have podcasts Saturday morning, Sunday morning. This concludes this marathon mock, right? We were taking this one up to round 4, which we did. And then Chris Connor is going to finish it on his podcast. We're actually starting another marathon mock tomorrow night. So tomorrow's podcast, we're going to be doing round 1 on Monday, round 2 on Tuesday, round 3 and round 4 on Wednesday, round 5, 6, and 7 on Thursday. So if you follow all the Draft Professor podcasts, we will be talking about every single player that's going to go in the 7 rounds. And as a couple people pointed out in the chat, what we cover at Draft Professor, the players in rounds 1 through 7, right? So the podcasters, a lot of what I do is I just vet to figure out how big their boards are. And like Anthony and Brian are going to have some of the biggest boards of anybody at Draft Professor. There might only be a couple people whose boards will be larger. So they're going to be able to talk about every prospect. And that adds a significant amount of value to the station. So again, give them each a follow. Now, Chris, yeah, I will be sharing with you the link to the spreadsheet. You can do your podcast, Chris, when you need to, like whether it's tonight, whether it's tomorrow. And I at least need time to post the tweets, and I'm not going to be posting the tweets until tomorrow sometime. So I got to get to bed. But for Anthony, Brian, myself, and the 85 podcasters at the Draft Professor, thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy your Sunday. We will see you on a podcast again tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, everybody.
Welcome to the Draft Professor channel, home of Epic Mock 26, April 9th, 10th, and 11th.